My name is Dana Pierce, and I live down in Cabo in Mexico, down in the tip of the Baja. And I have been in the coaching field for, I guess, 7 or 8 years now myself. My dating and love life before aligned attraction looked like, wow, what's really coming up is that I was dating men that were not at my level. That was one of a big identifier. But I also realized I had a lot of patterns. I had a lot of really unhealthy patterns that were not working for me. I was in and out of relationships rather quickly. I had been married for 20 years and since then dating, and I was moving through and just really not able to get that feeling that I was looking for. I was attracting a lot of very similar types of men that had similar behavioral dynamics. There was a lot of, I would meet men that would cling to me really quickly, and they were very needy and they were very demanding and very expectant. And I allowed myself to be in that. I think that I identified that as love. I thought that really was love. When somebody comes in hard and fast and swoops in and claims you, and wow, this must be love. And yet I'd find myself down the road going, this is not, I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't getting what I needed out of it. And I often felt trapped in that. And I didn't really know at that point how to get out of it or how to back it up. Or so it would be fast and furious. And then, yeah, I'd be lost in it. And then I would just want out because I didn't really know how to deal with the dynamics or get what I wanted. So I would just want out. So the impact on me having these cycles in relationship, I think in many ways, it just started to become hopeless. Man, is this ever going to happen? Am I ever going to find the one, or am I ever going to have the relationship that I want? And I've definitely ebbed and flowed since my marriage in spending quite a bit of time by myself as well, where I'm like, it feels like too much work. It just feels like work. And I have 3 kids. I don't need another dependent. I don't need somebody else to look after. I don't need, and I think it often feels like there's a lot of energy going out into this relationship, or it takes a lot of my time and energy. And yeah, if you're a working mom and you have your own business and you've got kids and whatever, it's a lot of work. The reason I joined Aligned Attraction, and as mentioned, I am a coach myself. So I've done a lot of these programs. I've been the host of a lot of these kinds of programs, and I've done a lot of coaching. I've been coached a lot myself. And there was a part of me that I'm done. So what had me actually say yes to Aligned Attraction was, it's funny being on the other side of it. And now I know what it was. I don't know that I really knew at the time. What I knew at the time was, I think there was a part of me that was, and I almost hate to use this word, but was desperate to finally get this right, to get this relationship thing right. I was married for 20 years and it failed. Ultimately, I don't know if I'd say it failed. I had the relationship, but I left that relationship not satisfied, not fulfilled from that level. And being out in the dating world and that, just realizing that I felt like there were pieces missing. And maybe there was a part of me that thought something's wrong with me. I'm broken and I can't get this right. So after being on my own for a couple of years, 2.5 years, and then starting to date, I really desire and long to have a partner in my life. I want someone in my life. I don't think we're meant to be alone. And I just really wanted to have a healthy relationship with someone. So I knew that this was starting to work almost right from the very get-go. Even the first weekend, I think there's a few things. Lee and Ani are incredible, exquisite role models of this type of healthy relationship. So even just being in the presence of that alone and in what I call in a container with that and channeling them in itself is, oh, I've got goosebumps everywhere, is just so helpful because it makes the impossible seem possible. You see it right in front of you. So right away, okay, this is possible. And then just the unfolding of each week, it felt like a short amount of time, but in each week there was like a huge piece would drop for me and something new would open for me. And whether it was the context of a new way of seeing, like a new lens or a new way of seeing myself in relationship, or seeing the other in relationship, or just learning new tools and new ideas on, I think perception is a huge part of it, right? It's like how we perceive ourselves and how we perceive others. So there was so many new pieces, and some of them weren't even new. Some of them were things I've heard about before, but it was in the context that they came. And each week, because I was dating and I had different relationship dynamics going on, I was able to practice it. Like I was actually able to take those pieces and put them into practice like instantly. So even in the first week, and see what happened. And it was like a laboratory, right? Like it was able to, okay, I'm going to test this, and okay, I'm going to try that. And oh, this feels scary, but now I'm going to lean in on this one and just see, okay, what happens if I do this? Or what happens if I really show up fully as myself? Wow. At the end of it, I feel like I've done like a 360 shift in dating and relationship to self, though. My relationship to myself has changed dramatically, and I see parts of myself that I didn't see before. And although that can be a little harrowing, a little white knuckling at moments, it's exquisite, because that's the only way we can do this differently and show up differently. Wow. What has shifted for me in my relationship with myself is, I want to say everything, a lot. I've done a lot of personal growth work. This one was huge. I realized along the way that relationship is everything. Relationship to self, other, whether it's dating, intimate relationship, whether it's family, whether it's whatever it is, it's everything. Our relationship to things, our relationship to whatever. I think one of my biggest takeaways, or something I'm really practicing in at the moment, is the attachment theories, the idea of like how we attach and why, and how other people attach. So that's given me a huge new lens to look at myself more compassionately, and also others more compassionately, and to see where are we connecting or not connecting, or what's happening in that. The other piece that I'm really working on is the idea that we show up in three different qualities: the child, the teen, and the adult. The wounded child, the adaptive teen, and the adult. And I think I've spent a lot of time in my life in the teen, being a rebel, being very rebellious, but I didn't really understand the context of why. And now I get to be in my adult, observing my teen, letting my teen blow off a little steam when she needs to, in a way of getting access to that wounded child, so that I can also support her as well, and see those parts of her that really need support and love. And this is, again, I've got goosebumps everywhere. This is like that. I think that has been one of the most beautiful frameworks for me, because like I said, it's given me a lot of compassion for myself, a lot of just love and compassion for myself, for why I show up in these different ways, these different parts of me. And also, like I said, being able to be in the adult, observing it. Like I have teenagers myself, like I get to reparent myself, those parts of myself, just like I'm parenting my kids. I get to reparent those parts of myself and just bring a whole lot more love, and a whole lot more love in. It changed everything with my dog, because all of a sudden I got her. I'm like, I'm going to cry now, because all of a sudden I got her, and I want to help her, but I don't know how to help her. And the best help I can give her is to just hold her as 100% capable, right where she is. She's 16. She doesn't need me to mom her. She doesn't. Like, I hold space for her. I hold that safe container for her to be perfect right where she is. And she gets to just be angry and be pissed off and be all of those things, instead of me going in and wanting to fix it. Do you know what I mean? Or wanting to, oh my God, or try and steer her in a different direction. Do you know what I mean? There was none of it. It was like, and to realize that she's doing exactly what she needs to do to protect that part of her. And I was like, oh, fuck, I just want to give all that a big hug. And then things just unlocked with her and I. It was so beautiful. But a lot of that was my own stories. And that's what I mean. So then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, I get to just hold her like this. I get to be more like the masculine container, in a way of just give her a big, wide berth, and know and trust in my heart that she's okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Ah, what a gift. I have tears in my eyes right now.
Oh,
Oh
me
my
too.
God. It's so good. It's so good.
So something that I have stopped doing is allowing anyone or anything else to set the pace for how I show up in relationship, in any relationship. I now have a whole new set of boundaries, and not barriers, but boundaries, in a way that I get to hold myself, I guess, accountable, but I get to hold myself so that nobody else gets to dictate how I'm going to show up, what I'm going to do, how quickly I'm going to move. If somebody says, I love you, I don't have to, I get to just nod and acknowledge that, and not necessarily have to feel, if I'm not there yet, that I have to respond to that in a way. And that's very different for me. I feel like I let myself be led a lot, and I would pace myself to the other person, and I would just go along with what that person's pace was. And that is an exquisite gift within itself, just really slowing things down. Huge.
Mm.
So one of the things that I'm doing very differently is I've decided not to jump into any relationships in the near future here. I don't have a confined or finite timing on this. I'm just realizing that one of the things that I had never allowed myself to do is truly date. I would jump into one relationship after another or whatever. And when somebody, and this sounds awful, but when somebody would pay attention to me and give me their attention, what I thought was their love, I thought, okay, this is the one. So what I'm really enjoying is, I guess, playing the field a little bit more, allowing myself permission to date maybe more than one person, or just spend time. I'm doing things a little bit more casually, taking my time a little bit, not feeling pressured to sleep with somebody or to any of that stuff. Just really allowing myself to just explore. And ultimately, I think the quality of men that I want to have in my life, I'm up leveling a little bit. I'm allowing myself to really, like I say, sample the buffet a little bit and see what's out there and see what parts I like and what parts I don't like, and ultimately build myself to find the one that's right for me. I think the impact of that for me has been in both slowing down and giving myself more time and dating a little bit more. Is I feel like I'm more in choice. I feel more empowered. I feel like I'm actually the one leading this. I'm not waiting around for somebody else to show me the way, or I'm not letting someone else's decisions override mine. I'm very active. I don't feel like I'm pulled back. I feel like I'm very active in this process, in this journey of relationship and getting to know different people and different personalities, and really enjoying that. And I would say the biggest impact for me is I'm really appreciating myself a lot more. I'm really trusting myself a lot more. I am, yeah, I'm not doubting myself. I'm trusting that the decisions that I'm making are really good decisions, that the people that come in, they're all really beautiful and they all have different qualities that they bring. And I get to enjoy all of that. I don't have to just narrow myself down into one thing or choose one thing or accept something that isn't ideal for me. So something that I was really surprised by in the program was the amount of value and content that I got out of each week that we met. I still haven't even touched the program in the back end, more because intentionally I came in and I wanted to be very present, and I know my personality and I know I really enjoy the one-on-one or the groups. I like the live interaction. So without even touching the back end of this, which I will go back in and do it, I was able to gather so many tools and just so much information. What's really coming up for me as I'm saying that is that a huge part of the value that I got out of this program was also the women that are in it. the group of women, the quality of the group of women, and the willingness, the compassion, the love, the celebration, the cheerleading, just the care and the tender love that was held by everyone for everyone in this container was, it was really off the charts. I have experienced some other work with Lee before, in a group environment with other, on a retreat that she ran with other women, and she has a gift for bringing some of the highest quality women who are just fully present, fully there to get absolutely everything that they possibly can out of this, to dive deep in themselves, just fearlessly, shamelessly, like just open themselves up and go, okay, listen, I am here because I damn well want to get this. I need this. I want it. I'm ready for it. I'm hungry. Show me the way. And I feel like we all did that. And you can go into a coaching program with a bunch of information and learn and come out with maybe new knowledge or whatever, but that's just such a piece of it. That's just the tip of it. It's the container that you're held in, and how and who you're there with. And that just takes it, that 10, 1,000, a million X's it. Like it really does. It just takes it to a whole nother level. What I found most unique about working with Ani and Lee, particularly as a coach myself, is I felt really blessed to be in the presence of both the feminine and the masculine. And it was incredible to watch the way that they balance each other out, and the way that they literally walk the talk. They, in real time, are showing up as everything that they are talking about. They've done the work. They've known each other for years. They've had the struggles. They've worked through them. They've come through a lot of the challenges that I think a lot of us face in relationship, and kept leaning in and came through them. And not only that, now they've created this incredible opportunity for others to follow in that. They are models. And from the moment walking in this container, I could feel that, and I could see that, and I felt really held in both the feminine and the masculine presence of both of them. Yeah, it's really incredible, really incredible. If you are considering the program and you have any hesitations or doubts or fears, I would say breathe into your heart, trust your heart, and know that it's actually possible to have a healthy, positive, secure relationship, not only with someone else, but more importantly and most importantly with yourself.